What is going on, YouTube? I am Lamont at large, and today I am at the Tahlequah Cemetery here in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. The first grave we're walking up to right now is that of Lois Nadine Smith. She was executed via lethal injection here in Oklahoma for the July 4th, 1982 murder of her son's ex-girlfriend, Cindy Bailey. So on that day, July 4th, 1982, you're probably thinking, hey, it's 4th of July, fireworks, a lot of food, hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecue, all that good stuff. Drinking, smoking weed, and maybe doing other drugs that you might do recreationally. Hey, that's your business. You do what you want to do. So on that day, this lady could have been high on meth. Who knows? So she, with her son and some other girl, they go to this motel where Cindy Bailey was staying at. And there was a rumor, I don't know if this is even a real rumor or not, but she goes there thinking that somebody's told her that that she was trying to hire somebody to kill her son. So she goes to the motel to pick her up. And they're driving in the car. She says, hey, I heard that you were looking for a hitman to kill my son. And Cindy's like, what the hell are you talking about? And all of a sudden, she pulls out a knife and just starts stabbing at her, like stabbing her in her neck. And she's hitting her, slapping her, choking her. She starts screaming. They take her from Talequah down to a town called Gans to the house of Lois's ex-husband. So they put her in the living room, and they make her sit in the recliner, and they're telling her, yeah, you're trying to hire a hitman to kill my son, and oh, I heard that you called the police and told them about us selling drugs and blah, 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 yada, yada. For the next several hours, they tortured this poor girl. Nadine's like, has a gun on her, just taunting her, hitting her, slapping her. Finally, after hours of this torture and abuse, she shoots her 5 times in the chest. Cindy falls out of the chair onto the floor. She shoots her twice again, bam, bam, and then once in the back of the head. After she shoots her 8 or 9 times, and then she starts stomping on her head. Yeah, definitely not a nice lady at all. That's why they called her Mean Nadine. This was a name that stuck with her ever since she was in high school. And let me tell you, you don't get the name Mean Nadine because you're helping out at the women's auxiliary at the local church, if you will. So after that, she's arrested, charged with a kidnap and murder of this poor girl. They grabbed the son, and whoever the girl was that was with him at the time, she testified against both of them. And she ended up getting the death penalty, and her son got life. Now, the son, even though he didn't shoot her, this clown reloaded his mother's gun so she could continue to shoot her. I mean, you talk about a real low-life scumbag family right there. And, I don't know. It could have been drugs. I'm just thinking, Oklahoma, a weird woman. I'm just thinking this story just screams meth all over the place. And of course, I believe there was, or at least the son was selling it. And we are approaching the grave of Lois Mean Nadine Smith. And she is buried, I want to say, those are her parents, because Dodd was her maiden name. So this is her grave right here. Her last words before they, administered the needle were, quote, "To the families, I want to say sorry for the pain and loss I caused you. I ask that you forgive me. You must forgive to be forgiven." Payable on death. Her last meal was barbecue ribs. Well, of course she's going to want to get barbecue ribs because she didn't get any barbecue because of the 4th of July, because she chose to take a young woman's life. Probably trying to make up for that. onion rings, and strawberry banana cake, and cherry lemonade. And during the execution, there were, of course, you got your death penalty proponents. 8 of them were arrested, charged with trespassing or what have you. So, Talequah, if you see this area right here, you see over down there, it's about 2 miles down is the city center, if you will. Now, coincidentally enough, the girl that Nadine murdered is buried in the same cemetery, and coincidentally enough, she's buried almost in a direct line. If we go down over here, that's going to be her grave. Now, at the time that she was murdered, she did have a daughter, and her daughter did witness the execution at the prison. I believe she was executed at the prison in McAllister. I believe that's where they do all executions here in Oklahoma. And like I said, practically a straight line down this walking path from her killer is Cindy Bailey's grave. Here she is. Rest in peace. This over here is the grave of Jim Starr Wylie, January 2nd, 1921 to June 29th, 1936. He was 15 years old at the time of his death. Him and 3 friends went swimming down at a river a little bit outside of town. And as they were goofing off and playing, all of a sudden Jim went under. His friends tried valiantly to save him. They were unable to get to him. And sadly, they had to walk about a mile down the road to get some help. Fire department came out. They couldn't find him. And a search party was gathered. Almost 300 people combed the river looking for this kid's body. And eventually he was found. And he's buried next to his father, J. Robert Wylie, who died about 6 months after his son. He hung himself in the family home in the garage. I couldn't find if there was a note left, but his wife basically said that once his son died, he couldn't take it. And yeah. And that is his mother right here, Kelly Starr Wylie. That is a inner tube to a 10-speed bike, and it, of course, has it on the stone. So he must have been very fond of that bike. I used to have a 10-speed. That was my favorite bike of all time. I love those bikes. This next story is quite strange. Right here is the grave of Jeremy Lee Swepston, June 9th, 1977 to May 25th, 1997. He was killed just about a week or so before his 20th birthday. So the story goes that he had gotten into some kind of a fight with a relative, and his uncle, Kevin Swepston, shot and killed him. Now, part of the story I don't get is, I believe originally he was charged with his murder, but later on pled to first-degree manslaughter and was not given any jail time. He was given basically lifetime probation. Yet, after he killed him, he took his body and dumped it in some kind of a like a trash dump. And I believe his mother found him about 3 days later. So it appears that the uncle got away with murder. He was shot in the back of the head. I don't think that's self-defense. I think that quite possibly is a murder. But I don't know. I wasn't there. I've been to this cemetery probably already at least 3 other times. And every time I see this grave, I've been wanting to come back here and show how amazingly awesome it is. Captain Native America Isaiah David Michael Fiedler, June 5th, 1999 to May 6th, 2017. He was a very popular student from what I've gathered online. He tragically took his own life. Very, very tragic. One of the coolest stones I've ever seen. Live, but not live, but still alive by the grace of God. I am Lamont at large. I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Have a good day, y'all. Peace out.